Hello everyone, my name is Otin Benjamin Mugure. I'm a computer engineering graduate from Mbara University of Science and Technology, class of 2018. And basically about me, if I were to introduce myself, I would call myself a network automation engineer. I am more involved in automation and DevOps, but that journey started with, of course, with Android, then the normal web development. Then it kept evolving, of course, being influenced with industry trends and exposure. And currently, I do part-time work with Global Auto Systems, one of the companies around. But I also decided to start up my own venture, which is autonomous code store. And then basically, it's not really your ideal. It's not really like the company that we really have, like they will have IT companies around. But autonomous code store is basically looking at us trying to provide B2B solutions while doing mentorship for fellow people who are in tech. So I also want to reiterate this point that what made me think of autonomous code store is because I don't want to emphasize that not every IT person is going to be like maybe a software developer, but the software development ecosystem requires all of us. Whether you're writing code or you're good at business or whatever skill set you can bring, because you can't exist in this ecosystem alone. So if you want to reach out to me, my favorite point of contact is my LinkedIn. Then of course I'll be able to share my contacts as well. And the good thing is I've known Ronald for a long time because he has always been, he was a class ahead of me and did a very good job at bringing our engineering classes together. So he has always been a leader figure in for the times I've always known him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Otim. There you go. Autonomous
code store.
Yes, there you go. So let's hear from Mr. Robert. How has been your journey? What do you do currently? Where can we find you? Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to share. My name is Robert Muhereza, and I work as a software engineer. And I'm a computer science student graduate from MUST. I graduated in 2017. Slightly, we're in the same year, but he graduated later. And since then, I've been doing freelance development. It is something that I've always wanted to do from time to time because freelancing is something that can help me do my work wherever I am. I don't have to be in a specific place or maybe be in a specific building. And to me, freelancing is something that I love because it matches with my interest of traveling, because I like traveling a lot. So meaning everywhere I am, I can still do my work. And I was a full stack web developer and also a software developer, doing more of both web and other softwares. But as time went on, due to the demand and specializing, I decided to be more into back-end development. And in case you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me through email and my contact. If they can get them from you, Mr. Ronald, that would be so good. Yeah.
Yes, he is a freelance software developer. I think before we leave, we understand what it means to be a freelance software developer. What are the opportunities? We will be able to tap into that. Thank you. So let's go to Mr. Ivan James. Where can we find you? What do you do? What are some of the products? How can we use your products? And please, we are live on TV.
Thanks, Ronald. First of all, I would like to thank you for this initiative and bringing several people on board and to see that the industry can move on. As I said, my name is Ivan James, and you can add on Musimzi. I work with DGB Technologies Limited. It has its offices at Mbadifa Building on Akikinya Wombo Road on level 1. I work as a software developer at DB Technologies, but mostly I focus on web technologies. But DB Technologies as a company provides solutions on servers and cloud computing. Then also gives you solutions on software development. I'm a graduate of computer engineering, but however much I tend to love software, that's where I link in. And work generally, depending on the solutions as a company, apart from providing services to other individuals, as a company, it has its own solutions. Like now we have a solution called the Web, which helps to give platforms to startups or small businesses. It gives it web platforms in that they will not require as a startup business to get a person to develop for them a website. They should start with something small. Then later, if they think they can transform it to their own website, they can go on and then hire a developer. But for the Google platform, it is as easy as posting there the way he manages a Facebook account. So the platform can integrate for him, and he has a standing web platform of his or her own business. So that's what we basically do, and we have been around for now going to 4 years. So as I've told you, you can find us at Mbadifa Building on Nyabongo Road. Personally, if you need me on all platforms of social media, you can look for Ivan James. I'm there. Or later, personally, I can hand out my contact. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. He is the man behind Web, the platform where you can list your business, and it's one way of creating visibility for your business in short. So, if you're a young man out there and you'd want to develop such interesting innovations, you will have a discussion with him. So let's go to Mr. Jonah Kasinga. Tell us, how have you managed to sustain the business up to now? What are you doing, and how can people get all that you're doing, basically your services? Thank you.
I'll begin by thanking you for organizing this and having everyone here. My name is Jonah Kasinga. I'm a software developer, a graduate of computer science. Today in 2020, these are 10 years since I wrote my first piece of code. Yeah, so I've been writing code for some time now. I work with a company called Mavtech Planet. Mavtech Planet is a company I founded a couple of years ago. It's located in Imbara City now, It's located in Imbara City at City Mall building, what other people call Navmat building. Level 2 room 38, that's where we are located. Basically what we do, we involve software. What I do, it's basically software, and down the years we've come up with a collection of products. In education, we have software products like the Mavres. We've worked with hospitals, we've worked with clinics, we've worked with pharmacies. Yeah, basically our client base has been almost everyone out there who is working with data. We keep telling people that if you're working with data, then you have our money. That is something that keeps us on our feet, by the way. Each time we are writing code and maybe we get an error that is taking long to be solved, we remind ourselves that if a person is working with data, then they have our money. So we need to finish that error and get down to another person who is working with data and we haven't met them. Right now, what is really trending in our incubation center is the Brain Planet. That is something that we are really running out right now, and it's something we are giving more visibility than all of these other products because they've been there down the years. The Brain Planet is the latest product, and with the Brain Planet, we are saying no one is going to stay home and they don't study. School is going everywhere, and people are studying online using their phones, using their tabs. They can study from their farms. That is one of our latest products, and it's what is trending out right now. We have other products that I haven't mentioned, like the Mavres, the Mavpos, Mavosa. All those fall in the other earlier categories I was talking about, finance, banking, and then the education, the other bit of education, then the medical. Well, we shall share much more later on in the day, but one thing I always tell people is that software is one of the most interesting things to do. It's It's a bit demanding, it requires that kind of commitment, but it's also interesting. It's something you wouldn't really want to miss out on. It's something that is really fun being part of. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan Kasinga. 10 years writing a code. Oh my God. Okay, so maybe we have a coordinator Mbarara District Farmers Association. Just like Jonah mentioned, every time you're writing a code, you know that organizations like Mbarara District Farmers Association have your money. So we have Father Tumusim Emmanuel is the director. Ahulile Uganda Limited, one of the largest and oldest software development company in Mbarara. You can find them at, I'm forgetting the building, but in Yamutanga there, that's where they are. We have the director of Foundation for Youth Empowerment. So these people have created a platform where we can acquire several skills, including the software skills they are talking about. And we are live on Iraka TV. Iraka TV believes in connecting communities, and that's why they have given us a platform to tell the world out there what it is to be in the software industry. So they have told us exactly how it has been developing their products and where they are and how you can reach out to them. But today we want to tap into their expertise. So when I was reading through, I saw what it means to succeed in the software development industry. And one of the number one point was about developing a high quality product. If you want to succeed, build a high quality product. Then build the customer relationships. Then accountability in the software development team. You must hold each other accountable and building strong collaborations. So there are some of the highlights as what you need to do to succeed in the software development industry. So I want to understand some of these qualities from the perspective of developers who have been there. So I want to first get to our team. They are talking about building a high quality software. But remember that comes with a cost. But then we know our people out there are not willing to pay for that quality. Even when it is quality, you will still attract the same money as the other guy who is not building a quality product. So maybe from your perspective as a developer and someone has been there, how best can we as young software developers build quality software products even when we know the amount we are going to attract from the public cannot meet the quality? How must we succeed in the business with that little money while giving out quality work? How possible can that be? Take it on, Mr.
Yeah, I think for starters, I want to answer the question with 2 points basically. The first one, I like the point you made earlier that we need to have like a sort of an association of software developers. Because one of the biggest challenges we have here in Mbarara City is that we software developers and companies undercut each other in terms of costing of projects. So somebody will go to Ivan and say, I want maybe this, I have this problem, I want you to help me. Then Ivan will tell him, for this problem, maybe I'm going to charge you, let's say 5 million for me to come up with a product to solve this problem. Then, Robert says, no, I can do that for 1 million, okay? So now you find that if Robert says he's going to do this for 1 million, the end user is going to try and think of cutting down costs. So he's going to shift to Robert. But the question is that what is the consequence of that undercut? It means we won't have a stable pricing for products. That's the first thing. Then secondly, that will mean that if you don't have a stable pricing for products, then it means that we can't really assure the quality of the products. That's the first way I can answer that. We don't have like a standard way of coordinating our pricing. That's why we find that in an ecosystem like Kampala, some top companies are performing better than us because there's a way that there's a minimum price, they won't go under that. And then the quality also cuts along. Now talking of quality, especially from a young software developer's perspective, when I started out, I thought that writing code was the main thing in software development. So like when I got a project, I would get excited and just jump on my computer and start writing code and figure it along. But the thing is that it's easy to write code that will run for a month, 2 months. but it's very hard to write code that's going to run for years, or it's going to sell in an international market, or it's going to sell in the competitive market. What do I mean? Code quality. How sometimes, most times, especially as budding software developers, we don't take time to plan our products. How much time do you take to plan? Because there's a saying that if you're given 9 hours to chop down a tree, it's best you spend 8 hours sharpening your axe, then you chop down the tree in the last hour left. The work will be easy. So if we go very fast into writing code and sort of don't plan our products in terms of going to architecting the products and then maybe try to research more to understand the problem, then the quality of the product you are going to make will only work for one client and will not even work for long. So meaning there are two things, two takeaways from my point. One, we need to stop undercutting. We need to stop undercutting each other in terms of prices and establish sort of a standard such that when we have a standard, we can easily sensitize the community around that, you know what, actually if you're a small business and maybe you want a website, this could be the minimum price. Then the quality, now we can now chase the quality after establishing that. So one, the pricing, we need to see how we can standardize that. Then two, we have to take time to plan. We have to teach the young software developers that planning is much more important than writing the code. Then after that, they will keep executing that. Then maybe the one last point would be, it's very important for us. We are living in an ecosystem whereby you can't survive alone. Why should I go and do something for a small business yet I know that Ivan is already having a product that allows small businesses to thrive and create a presence? Then it will save me much time to connect with him, to use his platform, and make it also better it and critique it and improves it, and I direct business towards him so that we can easily create an ecosystem, because the environment, I always have a belief that the environment can accommodate all of us, okay? But the environment can't accommodate software developers and companies that are competing against each other to do the same things. This industry is very wide. Thank you.
I would want to request Mr. Jonathan to come in on that very point. From the perspective, you have been a software developer before, and the good thing with Jonathan, he has worked with the hardest people to believe can accept technology, the teachers, the schools. So how have you been able to compromise on quality at the same time cost? But before we come in, I'm going to request Father to join us from the perspective of analyzing the situation. We will not ask very hard technical questions, but we can have you participate in the discussion.
Thank you. Today I wanted to become a participant. I wish David can take my place and I come in between.
Okay. We will verify where we need you.
Yes, but if there is anything direct,
okay. He has already met someone. David, these are heavy shoes, but you will fit in. Thank you. As David is coming, I wanted to tap into Jonah's perspective. Just like I've already explained, he has software for schools, for hospitals, and teachers are hard people to deal with, but he has been able to sell a product. Have you been selling quality, or you have been giving them what they deserve because of the money they have? Which is which? Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much. Now, there's something about the quality, then the costing bit. On your side as a developer, you have to survive. And this is something that you're earning from, something that should facilitate your well-being and maybe and your family and whoever is depending on you. The other side, the client, of course, from basic economics, you know that whoever is purchasing something, they want to save some money off it. And again, they will always want the quality to be high, what they call value for money. Person will want to pay less, but they will still want the exact amount, the exact quality that whoever pays for an expensive thing gains. Here is the thing. I'll begin with a bit of pricing, by the way. It disturbs us a lot in the software industry. A person maybe doesn't know how much they should price for a website, how much they should price for an app. Yeah, it all begins with that. And that's what, at the end of the day, you'll end up finding a person underbilling or overcharging a client. Here is a simple trick. I go to learn this on job. let's learn how to keep records. When I say I'm going to develop an app, for example, let's say just a food ordering app, very basic, maybe for a given restaurant or hotel. From the time I'm going to take on that contract, I will begin by documenting and knowing how many hours I'm going to spend developing this. Then as I'm developing, what am I eating? I document that as well. Now when I document what I've eaten, I document the price next to it. Then in case I'm using the internet and maybe also I'm paying for things like electricity, you document that. So when you're done with the product, then you sum all that up, then it gets you to know how much you've spent on just coming out with that product. Then after you're done, we've always got to the testing bit when we are testing these products out. It's very important, by the way. Most of the work is not done on the laptop. Most of the work is done when you're installing, and that is the testing bit. What I've always also learned, I will keep lending you from my experience of what I've done throughout the years. What you always do, before you even think of getting someone to totally buy this product, get a client, a mock client. For example, if it's a food ordering app, I will get one of the restaurants and talk to them nicely. I tell them, here is a product that maybe could serve you so well. Can we test it out together? You don't charge them anything. So as they are using that product, you get to know better what maybe you had left out and maybe what you had done so well. So when you're done with all that, you come up with a product that, remember, you already know how much you spent as far as producing it is concerned. Testing is also part of production, so you include that as well. Then when you get to the real client, the serious clients, of course the clients we have out here, most of them will not buy a product that they haven't seen. They will at least want to see a prototype. They need you to show them something on ground. So finally, when you meet this client, you have a rough costing. Usually there are two approaches again that we've been using down the years. Am I going to maximize numbers? Remember, I already know how much I spent on producing this product. So if I'm going to look at maximizing numbers, remember, if I sold a laptop to maybe 15 people at 5,000 each, maybe I could add more than selling that same laptop at 20,000. Maybe. That's back to your vision and maybe how you want to frame your business. Yeah, so all that is being done when you already know how much it costs to produce that product. Of course, if you spend 5 million sincerely developing a product, there is no way you install it at 100,000. That would be really difficult. Even if, for example, a client said, no, they have this trick a lot. I have a lot of business out there, I will give it to you. This is just the start. More opportunities are coming. So even if someone told you that, you always know that, no, I have a cut-off line of where I can't go below, I can't move below this. This is the bare minimum. So as a reminder, to guide us on how we can price without maybe compromising quality, let's always know the cost of production first, then that can always guide us. That also I explained about how we can handle the quality. If you tested this product out with a client, the very first mock client, we call that a trial, the quality will totally be far much more better than testing it with the very first client. Our very first product was the Marvelous for report cards, and we first sampled it out 3 clients. One was in Mbarara here, Weldon, we had another in Intungamo, we had another in Rukunjiri. Now what is interesting is that out of those 3, we only maintained the 2, we lost 1 along the way. Yeah, one got frustrated with the product, he said, no, this is not working out for me, but we learned out of it, because we're testing this thing out and we're getting to know the problems it was having, maybe things we hadn't considered during the development. Yeah, and somehow it helped us out a lot. And with the clients who followed after that, they would always keep saying, this is a fine product, it's of good quality, this thing works. This thing works, but in reality they don't know that they are the 15th to test it out. The other people tested it out first, they gave us their feedback, and we improved on the quality. Yeah. So again, always think of, let me first test out this product. I now know the cost of production. To make the quality better, let me have it tested it out so that I get to know how a client will react to my product.
So Mr. Jonah talked about cost of production. Yes, most of us, when we talk about cost of production, we only think of production, and we think of manufacturing companies. But yes, even the software industry, we have cost of production, which must be taken care of. Your time, even the laptop you're using, even the internet, all these ones must be considered, which we never actually, because maybe it's a skill, you only sit down and code. But that is cost of production, which Mr. Jonah is talking about. So let's first give a chance to David to tell us more about Aulire, what you do, the products you have, which might be of interest to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is David Wambale, and I work with Aulire Uganda Limited. I work in the development department, but I'm not much into the back end. I deal with the front end, and also the designing. I do much of the designing, the graphics designing, and the mock-ups and all that planning, the planning before we start developing. And as my brother was saying, in this industry we cannot run things by ourselves. We need each other, because even during the planning, when you are planning, you cannot do everything alone. You will need a graphics designer. You will need different people to help you. And also, this takes me to the pricing. The issue of pricing is really a very big challenge we have found, because sometimes we don't go deep to know what exactly we are supposed to price, and we don't know whether we are overpricing or underpricing. Yeah. So I think there needs to be, how should I call it? Like we have, as software developers, we have to have like a union where we can meet. Because me, I've been here in Barara for just a few years, but there are so many times I've tried to look for people who do specific things and I can't find them. Maybe just because we do not have a union that brings us together. And I think through that we can also discuss, as my brother was saying, we can also discuss how we can price our things, the minimum and the maximum for different companies, or maybe a startup or an established company, or what. You have different prices, and so that we have a standard. And this can help us also, because at one time I remember I had something to do for Kazire, like a poster design like that, but I didn't know even how to price Kazire, because I was wondering how much should I ask from this man to do this. So it was a challenge for me. So when I joined Aulire, I think the thing of pricing, it's very important to have like a union where we can meet and discuss the minimum, the maximum, and what we can price.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. As he was explaining, actually yesterday we faced almost a similar situation as with patients. So we received a call from someone who wanted an online platform. So he asked from Kampala, and someone said he needs 15 million to do it. Just a web-based system for an e-commerce platform. Then when he said, this guy is saying I give him 15 million, yet for me I have 7 million. No, and I was like, since even if you give me 2 million, so you realize, probably the police in Kampala are ready. They understand how to do things. But for me, maybe 2 million I can really work. So when he talks about pricing, I think we need to be serious on this. And then in my opening remarks, I talked about a software society. So maybe if we have a society like this, and I am faced with that challenge, I could easily reach out to a team. There's a client that is like this and this. From your experience, how have you been dealing with such? So that I do not make mistakes along the way. So very, very important. Maybe, but you did not tell us what some of the products or services you have at the moment.
At the moment we are developing an e-commerce vendor marketplace where so many vendors and businesses will open e-shops and be able to sell their things online. We are almost getting done with it. The app is ready. We are doing the beta test for the app, and it also has the delivery system. We have two apps. We have the delivery and also the shopping app, and then the delivery system for the delivery people. So this system, the vendors who are selling their products on, who are going to be selling their products on our system, they can create different delivery boys, so that if you have your shop, you know we have many shops here where someone has a shop and has specific border people whom he trusts to deliver products to different areas. So this will have digitized it, so that if you have the e-shop, you can also enroll a delivery boy, and this person will have just to download the app, and the orders you get will be assigned to the other person to deliver depending on their location and also their availability at that particular moment. So the other product we have a product for SACCOs. It is a web-based system that will help the SACCOs to, especially we are looking at these small SACCOs. You know, there are so many SACCOs, over 500 SACCOs in Uganda which do not have systems, and we are targeting those small. We don't want to look for, we want these small ones, and then we shall grow with them to the other level, so that we give them the system, and then they can use it to manage their data in the SACCOs. We are also working on an app for that particular system, which will enable mobile payments for different clients in a particular SACCO. Can be able to make deposits, can be able to make withdrawals, can be able to, and you can use the same app to pay for utilities like water, electricity, bills, and also tickets, maybe for street parking, and also all sorts of that. And then there is also another system which is a database, but this we developed for community-based organizations or NGOs. It deals much with donations, where people can donate to different causes. And
in the interest of time, quite a number of innovations. Thank you so much, Father, for mentoring the team. So you have heard, and in the next segment we're going to tap into marketing and financing these innovations and how we can. It's one thing to have a product like this, but it's another thing to make it a global product, make it a Facebook, make it a WhatsApp of this world. So, but I wanted to give a chance to the two gentlemen, Ivan and Robert, to tap into expertise regarding quality and cost, what we are discussing. Let me hear your views, how you have dealt with that in your development journey. Starting with Robert, then after Robert we go to Ivan.
Talking about the software quality, you see, we can never talk about the software quality without the people involved. That is the person who needs the who is going to use the software, and the person who is going to develop the software. And like what Benjamin and him have already shared, To talk to that is that one of the things that that can help improve our quality of software is one of the things I realized is like having like a specialization amongst developers. Like if you have a team, like for example, like I told you at the beginning, I used to do more full stack web development, but I realized that actually there are people who could do better front end than I did, and they had more talent in designing, in having ideas of how to do the information architecture, which I did have. Me, I was so much into solving, I was so much into wanting to do algorithms, you know, solve problems, handle data, and that sort of like stuff. So what I did is that I decided to do so much into back end, and then when I get like a project to work on as a freelancing developer, I have some friends of mine that I work with, and I know this guy is good. I have some friend of mine called Henry, works with Self-Border, is the designer. He usually like comes up with like a UI that is really so good, and he has, you know, we've done the research together, the planning, and then he comes up with a good product, depending on even what the client wants. And then after what he has done, we go now back to the client and they're like, okay, this is what we ought to do. According to your requirements, this is how we're going to do this, this, and this. And even before we start the development, just sharing the UIs, this person is able to say like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I like the idea. Because actually there are even tools that like the Marvel app, which can help you design like the UIs with all the functionality, so that somebody can just interact with the UI and see that from this step I'll be doing this, after this I'll be doing this, so that before we start the development, this person has interacted with this software and he's able to be, he's satisfied with whatever we're going to deliver to him. Yeah, so, and after that, that's when we do the other bit of development. So to me, when it comes to the quality, I've realized that the team, having a team that is talented and they are able to come up with, you're able to team up together and have that constant interaction with the person who's going to use the software has helped improve so much in the quality. Because personally, I love doing quality work and I just can't settle for less. Yeah, then the other, about the pricing.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm going to ask a very direct question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If would you compromise quality because I've given you little money, or you would still give me quality even when I am? Because probably if you were to give me a less quality work, it would take a few days, maybe the 1 day or 2 days, you give me something that I can work around. And if you were to develop a quality work, maybe it will take some time. But remember, I am the person who will give you very little money.
Yeah.
Would you compromise quality for my little money, or would you let me go other than doing the shoddy work?
I think I would rather let you go and me doing shady work, because it does not make sense, or to me, I feel so bad when people are complaining about my work. That does not give me peace. And I know that if I don't do quality work, there are going to be so many bugs, and the person is constantly going to call you, and you find that you spend 6 months working on a specific project which you would have done in maybe a month or 2. So not doing the quality can have an effect where like you're going to keep developing and changing this, and that can even disorganize the way you do your work. Yeah.
So for the young developers out there who are watching us all in the room, would rather let him go or her other than producing poor quality work. Very, very, very important. So let's tap into Ivan's experience regarding quality and cost. After Ivan, I'm going to bring in Father to share his views regarding the topic, as well as tell us, given a chance from all these developers. All of them know how to develop, they know all these languages, but given a chance and you want to hire one developer from the team, what are some of the qualities you would focus on? from these software developers. So that will be what I would get from further. So Ivan, too.
Thank you so much, Ronald. On the issue of quality and costing or budgeting, well, first of all, what you should understand is you get a client and a client just has an imaginary thing of what he wants. And he comes to you and he says, you see, Ivan, I'll give a simple example. I want a small website to show what I do. Yes, I want a small website, very small. Like I have 200,000. You tell them, 200,000, what can 100,000 do? No, I want something small. I just want to show that I do this and I'm located here. Maybe, for example, you can tell them, add something. You say, okay, I can add this as 300. Then you negotiate and say, okay, 300, you want this to show you do this and you are located here. Yes, that's what exactly I want. You agree? The client now has got an idea of what he wants, then you start working on. You say, you'll come back on Monday to see your progress. Then when he comes on Monday, he will tell you, I met my colleague. He told me, what if we can add the contact us page? So now, from there, that's what trouble starts from. But if you say, no, but we agreed on this, then you tell you, no, I also need a contact us page. My colleague told me if I don't have a contact us page, it will not look nice. Then, okay, you can compromise. Then you finish the product with the contact us page. 2 weeks later, he will call you, hello, can I have SMSs in there? Because you told him, okay, I will help you and support you for 1 week. So before the weekend, can I have SMSs? They have told him SMSs are good. Now, you find the most challenging is a client not knowing what he is expecting at the end. That will compromise what you will budget for, because he will tell you, I need something with A, B, and C. So you also budget for A, B, and C. After finishing A, B, and C, then he brings D, E, and F. So from the start, it has been a challenge. When you get a client who doesn't know, and they are very many, they are the most common ones. They don't know exactly what they want and how will it look like at the end. Because they have gotten this idea that yes, there is a website or there is a platform, I can get an app to manage my business, but what is behind that thing? He doesn't know, because somebody tells him this thing is easy. He can do it in 2 hours, but for you are going to spend maybe a full week working on it. So in the 2 hours, the client thinks that he will give you the 300. And when you refuse the 300, he will go. Now, that's when the challenge is. Remember, one thing you should know. In this 21st century, everything you do requires money. So it is a very important thing to state your priorities right away and say, for me, if a client comes, whether it's requiring a very big platform or a very small platform, we don't go below this amount. Because the moment you compromise on that amount, you are going to face challenges on what you are expecting at the end, because you will say, even if a client comes 2 days that he needs an addition, our minimum price can accommodate for that. But when you say that I will cost depending on how a client has come, then you are going to face challenges. One, the client will have an expected outcome, which later will be influenced by his colleagues, later influenced by the customers. So it is either you leave the client to go, or you work for him depending on how much you have costed, rather than spending 2 months on a product which would have costed for $1 million and you cost it 500,000. So that's the best I can say on it.
Yes, there you go. Very well explained. Compromising quality in this industry, we must pay attention to it. If it's about money, you'd rather let the money go, but you provide quality work. Rather than providing, because at the end of the day in the market they will not judge the money they give you, they will judge the product they will be seeing. Where did you get this website from? From EYIT. Oh my God, this guy is designed such weird things. But remember, they are not going to ask how much money did you pay for this? They will not ask about how much. They will be interested in who developed this. So, viewers watching us on TV, those who are here, please, quality is quality, irrespective of how much, but quality is quality. Let's tap into Father Emmanuel, and the reason why I'm bringing him on board, he is working with quite a number of software developers, as you have heard from him. They have quite a number of products, and I know he's building a brand. Ahurire has been there. They have now they have hosting services. They have quite a number of stuff. They have a good place, so it's a growing brand. So Father would like to tap into expertise regarding quality and cost from the perspective of you as a leader of a software company. At the same time, we would want to understand, given a chance and you want to hire a developer from this group, what kind of a developer would you want? Share with us some of the programming languages you would be interested in, but also the quality of that developer you would want, given a chance to hire from these people who are here, and probably those who are also developers watching us live. Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you very much. I'm called Father Manuel Sime. For many years I've been working with the youth, and I still want to work with the youth. I always want to look at 10 years and above from now. As I stand here, I am looking 10 years. Number one, I expect that we will get the experiences of integrity. Because you are working with code and you are working with systems and platforms, some of them are going to be systems and platforms with money. So for me, I would like to work with somebody who has very high integrity. You are going to work with the data, and data does not belong to the companies. It does not belong to the software developers. It belongs to individuals. So I would look for somebody who has very high level of integrity. Ichakugamba namazima kandi nayenda ngagume gari amazima garebekere no mu technology. That for me, that is number one, especially when you work with platforms which will involve payments and things like that. Secondly, I would like to work with a developer who has a level of commitment that looks very far. Usually short-term things, they can't work, for sure. If you are looking at 6 months, it is very frustrating. Because some developers I've worked with, they come with short-term goals, and then after the thing doesn't work in 3 years, he's already frustrated, completely frustrated. This is long-term project. I'm sure those who have been there for 10 years, they know what it means. You thought you were going to finish this in 1 year, it is taking you into another year. So there must be a long-term plan, long-term thinking and dreaming. I would like to work, that's the question, with somebody who is looking at a long-time project, not short-term. Because short-term, of course you will get 300,000. There is no way you are going to start thinking about 5, 10, 20 billion. You can't think about 20 billion when you are thinking about 300,000. So for a bigger project, I would like to work with somebody who would like to think about 20 billion, 30 billion, but it is not going to come today. It must be cost effective. Ichinto chabantu barakondera sentenche konga high quality, because we are talking about pricing. We must finish the product, tier it in pricing. When he comes, he should see that if he has his 200,000, he's going to take it, but it is going to be at this level. Tier 1 is free. I can create your website, give it to you for free. But do you want to upgrade? Pay this. Do you want to have an executive one? Pay this. Do you want an extended one? Pay this. Do you want something that is perpetual? Pay this. Because when you tier it, then they know that so it means, as the developer, I would like to have somebody who will develop, finish, put on the market, so that people can pick it from there. Otherwise, we have tried that. We have a farm management software, which we are trying it out. When you go to the farmers group, they say we shall give you 1 million. But of course you know that 1 million is nothing. They will not enjoy it. But you know they are supposed to pay 15 million. But it means that you must have a team that is ready to invest in something until it has that value and it is going to produce the value for the customer. The moment we have it, anybody will come and pick it. And they can pay according to their level of what it will serve them and what value it will bring them. So I would like to work with a developer who has a long term in his mind. Finally, who wants to work as a team, knowing that he will need me even if I don't write code every day, but I'm the one who is going to do the legal part of it. I will go to markets that are executive. I will go and talk with the company. I will sit with a big company and then we talk. And then I will bring what the developer will need to write codes on. So it can't be a short-term project, it has to be long. I also would like to have people who specialize. If you are doing Java, and you know that Java is harder than PHP, stick with Java. Don't juggle between PHP and Java. You are not going to excel. You will only produce 15% for each. But if somebody is there, he's going to do research, he's going to develop because he knows what to do with the PHP. The moment we get a business, we will know that it is you. And then somebody knows some 15% of Java, and we are developing a payment platform, and he knows it needs Java. He starts on it, and then is frustrated. So I would like to work with somebody who knows I want to specialize on this, and I will do PHP, excel in it, Java, excel in it, any other program that we'll be using. I think that's what I can say for the time being.
And what are some of the programming languages you normally focus on in the organization?
These days, it is those two mainly. Either you are going to use PHP, which is very common and easy to use, or you are going to use Java, which we use for making apps and even for any other payments. But it is a little bit complicated. But it would be good even if you use CSS, but that is a little bit complicated. But for now, this can take us into market, and we can also start from there and be able to move on. It's still EYIT.
Yes, thank you so much. Those who are watching us live on TV, you can share your comments. I'll be able to read them out. And you can ask any of the panelists. If you want to particularly ask further, please do. If you any of the panel, you can ask a direct question. We have further brought something to do with, of course, relationships, building partnerships. In the discussion it came in, and I would want to tap into the rest of the panelists. How have you been able to build relationship with customers, at the same time build collaborations amongst yourselves to build a fine product? Starting with you, James, from your perspective, how do you try to build a relationship with that customer you're working with? At the same time, how do you build collaboration or partnerships amongst the team members you work with? Because I'm sure you started with someone. So how did you come together to build something? And now you have it, how are you able to build relationship with the customer out there? Two questions in one because of the interest of time.
Thank you, Ronald. Well, I'll start with the question you asked, that how to build a relationship with the people you are doing with business. Well, first of all, it is most important to have a goal. What is a goal? As that's why you're starting something, you're developing, you're in software, what is your goal? And when you have a goal, it is easier to find somebody with the same goal or passion or the same dream. And once you find that someone with the same passion or goal, then it is easier to collaborate because you will be having related interests in something. The whole issue is on focusing on achieving a goal. Because along the way there are hurdles. You should understand that there are hurdles, there can be financial hurdles, health hurdles, but when you have a dream of achieving something, mostly in this software environment world, you focus on that, and the things which come along the way, you can find solutions for it. Because once you have not lost the focus, then it is easy to stay on the track. Then with clients, finding and keeping clients or collaborating with clients, first of all, they should be the clients which fit or which tap into the goal which you are trying to come up with or which you are trying to achieve. If you are trying to say, let's say you are developing, let's say a delivery application, then you have a specific type of clients you are targeting. So you should set yourself to those kind of clients. Customize or brand yourself targeting those kind of clients. For example, if you're in a delivery app, you want to do away with people who will do the delivery, and these the usual ones we have borders. So you should set yourself in a way that you can attract borders to talk to you, because maybe some people might despise them, but for you, you're seeing them as maybe collaborators or clients in one or the other. So set yourself and customize yourself to the target customers you want. Then collaborate with other companies. My colleague here was telling me about it. I personally have got a chance one or the other to work with Jonah and this gentleman, but you should also be a person who, however much you are collaborating with others, in a software environment you should be able to give out knowledge. There is no solution for everything from one person. A software developer will come to you that I've got a challenge here, help me. You should help if you know. So if you don't know, say I don't know. Because it is through that helping, next time is going to get an opportunity which is going to require your expertise. So if it requires your expertise and is not in that field, he'll call you upon, join the team. So like this freelancer, I can tell you more about that. In that, yes, he knows something, so if he's a freelancer, he'll work with me, he'll work with another person. So through that, knowing that so and so can do this better than me, and let us call upon him on the team, it's the way the things have been moving well along, and we need to continue growing that. So that's how the software environment all around will grow. With that, that's what I can submit.
Thank you so much. I am going to focus on Jonah. Today, Jonah, I'm going to call him a villager, just like Paul, because he has worked in the almost remote areas ever since he started his development journey. And I want to tap into the mindset change at the same time building relationship with the clients. You go to school, and for the first time, the secretary thinks you have come to take his or her job, because he's the one that the secretary has been writing marks in the report cards. But today, you're bringing a software that will not need a secretary. But then for you, how have you been able to convince such people who think you can't take their jobs, yet you're actually coming to create efficiency in the way they do things? So how have you been able to change that mindset and build a strong relationship with such clients? Thank you, John.
Well, how have I managed to work with most of these people, especially those who are actually so reluctant to take up technology? One thing I always thank God for is that growing up I learned so many languages. I speak more than 10 languages, by the way, Ugandan. So whenever I go to these clients, especially those in maybe the rural areas away from town, I struggle hard to blend in. I try to blend in and identify with them, like you were saying. So if, for example, I'm in Uganda, I try to speak Runyankore. If I cross over to the Nile, I try to speak Lusoga there. I cross Gofa and I try Samia. When I'm in Central, I speak Luganda. Now, when you talk to them in a language they understand, one, they will believe you're one of them, and actually most of them will be like, hey, you're one of us and you can do these things. So they give you that extra support. There's that extra support they give you, as compared to, from experience I've learned, if you go to, for example, Kunjiri or other places this side, and you talk to them in Uganda, there's that attitude they have. I was in Hoima, that time probably I didn't know about that by then, and one of the people I work with had helped do the mobilization that side. They had promised us very good business. He told me this time around, Jonah, what I'm trying to tell you, hire more 5 people onto the team. Look for 5 people, whether you get them from Kampala, where find them, because we have a lot of work in Hoima and Masindi. These are done deals. So far I have about 15 schools already. They've agreed to give us business. And I'm sure once these ones take up, we are going to have others. So you might spend 3-4 months in Hoima. I got so excited. Afterwards, when we traveled back, he was so good at speaking Runyoro. So I traveled, went to Masindi, talking to them in English. The moment I started that, I met the first client. They told me, well, we talked to your colleague, but we are still considering to take this up. Maybe you give us some time, we shall call you. Can we call you after 3 days? So those ones were off. I went to the next client. When I reached there, I tried engaging them. They told me, yes, that idea is really good, but right now on the budget, we don't have it. We shall get back to you, but it's very good. Leave us with your contact. I went to the next. Then I got the phone and called him. He said, but you told me these people had agreed with you. You even told them the price. Now I'm here to only do the implementation and they are not cooperating. I said, which people are those? I read to him the names of the schools. I said, maybe you go to another school. Those are you go to another school. That's what he said. I tried all that. I spent 2 weeks between Masindi and Hoima, rotating from one school to another, and all I kept getting was that feedback. Then finally I sat down and I asked him when I was back, what do you think was the problem? He said, I will also try and find out. Then he called one of the people who was taking him around in Hoima and Masindi. So the person told him, those people can't give you business if you cannot speak Lunyoro. When he came in, they felt he was strange, as a Kubaba, this is not a person who can maybe be friendly to them tomorrow if they get a challenge. So they also have that fear. But somehow if you can try so much to blend in, you try to talk to them, build that rapport. There's another client I came across. I learned to build the rapport, and I came to learn of it after 2-3 days of staying there. The director had threatened them before my arrival. Those of you who are not so good at using computer, there's a gentleman I'm inviting, you might lose your jobs. He's coming with the software. So when the people saw me, they looked at me as this person who is going to make them lose jobs. So when I learned of that, somehow I now got on to what they call a serious sensitization exercise. I said, no, look here, we are all going to be using this software and everyone will keep working with it. And it's here to just support you, actually to support what you've been doing. It's not there to replace what you've been doing. So the way you've been doing it, this is meant to help you save some time. Yeah, so that is something that has really helped me down there. As going to those people, building a rapport with them is very important. It's very important when you're going to deploy a software. Always when you're building a client, build that extra money that you know this will be for accommodation. I'm going to stay there for at least 3-4 days. So that the first 2 days, you're not even doing the installation. You're getting to learn their names. You're getting to learn the language they speak best. You're getting to learn for them if it's lunch, this is what they eat. I've eaten black beans while in field. Yeah, but just for the sake of this fulfilling, I'm one of them. I'm not coming here and bringing in that thing of I'm a town person, I'm coming from town. You see, I've worked with people as far as in Kasese, there are places called Chisinga, I don't know if anyone knows them. Chisinga, inside there, those places where you get a car from town and it takes you deep inside. Yeah, then in Uganda I've gone as far as you branch off from Rohoko, there's that place, you get a boda and pay almost 10,000. So those people are in hard to reach areas. By the way, they have the money. And once you convince them, you show them that indeed this solution is going to benefit them. And it's here to only make their work better. You will work with those people definitely. You will work with them definitely. That is actually how I've been working with them down the years. And what is interesting is that I've worked with them in education, I've worked with them in banking, and those people have listened. And somehow they've reached a point where they trust me a lot that even when they want to buy a printer, they will call and say, can you get us a printer and you bring it, at least we shall transport you. So when you build that kind of relationship with them, you reach that kind of level. They cannot do anything technology related without asking you. They cannot make any decision. They will always first have to consult you. So identify with them, build that kind of relationship with them. Yes, the money is there. Some people say the relationship between them and clients is money, but always look at them as second family. Make them family, make them part of you, talk to them. Yeah, talk to them.
Thank you. So I'm going to tap into the experience of the freelancers. I'm going to refer to Otim as a freelancer, at the same time Robert. When you're talking about mindset and building a relationship with a customer, you can imagine Jonah Digbit and Auril are registered companies incorporated with URSB. They have whatever it takes, they pay URA. So it is easier for them to get business from any organization given a chance. Now here comes freelancers. My thinking with freelancers, you can get them anyway. They don't have any strings attached. They give them a gig, they work, and the rest is yours. So from your experience as freelancers, how have you managed to build that relationship with customers, change their mindset, trust you even when you're freelancers? So I'm going to start with Robert, then end with your team.
Managing relationships as a freelancer, it's many things. And one of those is that, you see, I came to realize that people don't actually, most companies, like let's say Mara, they would prefer Jonah and James or the father's company because they are registered. And even for the first time when they come to like freelancers, they hope that we are much cheaper than the companies. And but then, mostly as a freelancer is that most of the jobs I've got, it's not that I've got them like from a company, but it's from an individual who knows what I can do best. And it is through the work that I have done that people can be able to look at and they're like, I like what he's doing, I like your creativity or the way you put together things. And through that, that's how they keep coming. They keep saying that, there is someone who can do this, there is somebody who can do this. And so that's like one way, personally, I've been able to keep relationship with my clients. I don't know if that answers that very well.
I think it does. Maybe just one last. So what would you tell these software developers out there who are mostly like you? Still young, not at your level, but I think most of these young people at campus, those who know how to program at campus, get such gigs in the name of being freelancers. What should they be aware of? What are some of those challenges they should not find themselves in? Maybe you have worked this help someone and you have read sometimes when you have dealt with them. You could help someone out there watching us or in the room.
Well, one of the challenges is as a freelancer is that at first people would come up with their ideas or the projects, and then they explain this big idea to them, and then they want you to start developing. And then halfway working on the project, they're like, oh, we are cutting the project, we're not going to continue the project. And so you find like you've done so many projects in maybe a couple of months, but then you've not received any money. Because one, you don't have like any legal document to claim for the time you've used, for maybe the resources you've used. So to me, when I started this whole bit of, if somebody comes to give me a project, after we've discussed all the nitty-gritties, first and foremost, before I start coding, I have to have 75% of the money. Because I know if you pull out at any time, my time is not wasted. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe something is, I've also realized that registering a company, it doesn't have to be so many people. You can register a company so that when you have a client who needs a recognized company, you're able to accommodate them. And if you find somebody who does not mind being under a company, you could also still do your normal ways. And yeah, currently I registered mine, came up with a website, but so in case someone comes and they want like some companies like NGOs, they want to pay to a business account, not to a personal account, just to keep record. I can be able to facilitate them. But I'm not going to have an office like in town. Maybe that this is where I'm going to be stationed, and because I may not do all that. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a reason why someone chooses to be a freelancer. If you have time, we would see how best can a freelancer like you come to Father Emmanuel at Awurire and be able to do business together. Because Father's Awurire is a brand.
Yeah.
It can get opportunity even from government. So me as a freelancer, it is possible for me to come to Father and say, you know what, Father, this is what I have, this is what I can do, but I need a great organization. So I am able to work with you, do this, maybe all of us can benefit from this. Maybe some of that discussion would have been very important, and I would think Father would be happy for that since he's mentoring many young people out there. Because young people don't have these companies. Reason being, start one, your eyes on your neck. You will probably need to. There are so many things as to why a young man might not be able to have a company. But that young person has skills. So how can big brands like Awurire help such young people? Maybe along the way when Father comes on board, you could tap into that briefly as we move on. So after our team, then we are going to go to the last set of questions, as we call it a day, because it is already 1 and we are supposed to end at 2.
If you allow me half a minute.
Granted.
We have space, that's number one. Where people who are skilled and who are developers and even freelancers who can come and use space. We have the space. You don't have to pay for this space as long as you have a skill or it's open. We not only space. If you at times they might need an organization that is credible and you have the job to do the work. We give you space. If we find that there is a need to have a partnership with you, we will do it. If there is no need that we are only giving you a greenhouse to cover you so that you can grow, we also give you that space.
So, young software developers out there, Father has an opportunity for you, as well as EYIT, by the way. If you're a developer out there, you can come and utilize our resources and do work, then we will see the rest after you have utilized the opportunity. Let's go to Mr. Tim. Since we have known freelancers can have a home somewhere in Imbarara, then let us see your journey as a freelancer, answering the same questions Robert was talking about.
Yeah, well, The freelancing space is an interesting one, I should say, because when I started coding at campus, people would look at you as a student. So the way they talk and their commitment to you is also at some level, which sometimes there are people whom you highly respect, probably your lecturers and stuff. They'll give you projects, but they are not as committed to paying you at the end of the work or along the way. But that taught me two things. One thing that I learned to do to work with clients is, first of all, empathize. Okay? Sometimes you may think somebody is not paying you because they don't want to pay you, and maybe they have a pressing need. Give them time, they will be true to their word. But don't go around spreading that I worked for so and so and it didn't pay me. Empathize. When I use this word empathize is because, again, sometimes when someone approaches you, you need to reason with them and orient them, just like Jonah was saying. If you don't, because you see the software space is something that is relatively new, people are still getting to understand these things, so sometimes the expectations are a little bit too much, and sometimes the most important golden rule for me is never lie to a client under no circumstance. I rather tell you the truth, then you decide that I'm going to work with you or not, but I'm not going to lie to you because, one, my reputation as a freelancer is based on my referrals, just like Robert has said. I only get clients mostly through referrals. So if I develop a picture of being a dishonest person or somebody who would lie to a client just to get the money, then it means that with time I will run out of clients because people will always interact. It's a very small world. Then two is, of course, commit to the client. Just because you've received the money doesn't mean that the communication is done. So sometimes you have to go back. Yes, I have to go to your website maybe 2 years ago, okay? And probably I could patch some things for security for your website. We can work on arrangement. An arrangement doesn't mean that necessarily it has to be money. The money is important, but it shouldn't be the ultimate goal. So I can work an arrangement with you, like you see, maybe I did for your WordPress site and it's probably out of date. I think I could update it for you, but then like updating would maybe incur this cost. Then also you get to see. So the most important thing that I always do in my freelancing work, both financial and the work, is I try to put empathy first, because when I put empathy first, just as Father said, you have a longer relationship. Because I sometimes move out of Mbarara, then I get to come back because somebody I worked with or I worked for calls me and tells me, you know what, I think I have this thing for you, and I can maybe, I can put up the cost of you being around to finish my work. That's because of the relationship I established. If I looked at the money then probably I would have lost that client after the money got done. So the most important thing, that just one word, empathize with the client. Then the bonus is this: for the young software developers, cut down ego. Sometimes people feel so big because I can write code, I know it all. You get? If you don't cut down ego, people will start pulling away from you and you won't realize why they are pulling away from you. But if you cut down ego, you can be able to listen, you can be able to get corrections, you can be able to connect with people, and people will generally, first of all, like you as an individual. Then your work should now be a proof of what you are being skilled with. Then after that, you realize that the soft skills are very important. Be polite at all times. Doesn't matter whether the client is very older than you or the client is younger than you. Just, yes, keep polite at all times. Don't lose your mind to a client just because they're maybe not understanding what you're doing. Then when you establish these things, you become more, you do what they call, I call it a human-centered design. You first put the human in it, then later on the design will come in, then you find yourself thriving as you keep on progressing. So that's what I can add on that.
Very good point. Soft skills as software developers, because we have only focused on writing codes and we forget about something else, and that is what we're referring to soft skills. Robert, you have just one second.
I want to share something to add to this. The other thing is for freelance developers is the commitment. I remember my story is starting out as a freelance developer. A couple of people knew about my talent and skill, and people would call you every now and again. So you find like you have 5 or 10 projects to work on, and then people are putting you under too much pressure, and then you're unable to work on the quality of the code, you're unable to deliver on time, and at the end of it all, people start losing trust in you. So for all the developers that are out there that would want to do the freelancing, I would encourage them, it's better to have a project one at a time, you do it much better, and then you go on for the next, than you trying to handle so many that you can't handle. Because now my work is different from the companies. These guys have very many guys working with them, but I'm an individual who is working maybe with some other person, and we have to work at certain product one at a time so that we can.
One thing I'm getting from all of us, there is a lot that these young developers will need. Probably now the issue of mentorship will come in. I would like to hear from Ivan and Father, because apart from developing software, EYIT also trains young people in software development, right? Then Father can as well take in young people for mentorship. So talk to us if some of those opportunities are there in your organizations, so that these young people, especially who are still at the university, can write code, but they want to do things, they want to understand a few things, finishing the project on time, communicating with colleagues, commitment, what are some of the things which can be obtained from the work environment. So maybe talk to us in a few minutes, are there some of those opportunities in your organizations that, so that these young people who can reach out to you for mentorship? Let me start with Ivan and end with Father in just a few minutes.
Yes, thank you, Ronald. What I can say, software development is a career, and like any other career, it needs nurturing. You start by learning basics, and like there we learned 1, 2, 3, ABC. Also, software development has its ABC. So you always need somebody who has worked on it and knows the challenges of ABC before you move to another stage. At DB Technologies, we do that specifically, or mostly on software development. And one thing I can say, people who are starting to develop software, who want to join the community, they have a lot of expectations. One, if you are in this field, you should cut expectations and be committed. Commitment is key, because it is going to be hard for you, to be honest. It is going to be hard, it is going to take up your time, it is going to make you sometimes have sleepless nights, because it is not going to be a straight path that I'm going to dig here and get what I want. You're going to face challenges, things will not work out. Even if you are making a product, they will not work out. So you have to be committed and know that there are challenges, and be always eager to learn. Because this is an industry which evolves now and then. Like the way we hear every year, like Android releases a new platform and a version. So you should be eager and willing to learn every time there is something new, so that you can keep refreshing your mind.
Okay, now coming further, you explain the kind of a developer you want, but probably that developer cannot come easily. Are you willing to mentor that developer in case there is someone who thinks can match but is not yet there? Do you have any arrangement or any opportunity for that developer to be mentored by you to do exactly what you want?
I think the answer, the straight answer is yes. Students, we don't take very many. We look at, when we are discussing with them, we give them a chance. Short time, 1 month, and we see where is your focus. Because most students, what I have discovered, who have done technology at university, they are afraid to do programming. The moment you say program, writing codes, they say no, computer repair. Networking. Graphics. But the moment somebody says, I want to do programming and I want to write code, then I said, the first question I ask, is this your passion? Can you, even if it is midnight, would you be able to stand up and say, I forgot to do this, or I want to do some small research on this, and now internet is faster, I will be able to do it. The moment somebody has passion for programming, this person I will give a chance. Number two, do you want to have short commitment, 6 months? Or are you looking at a longer commitment? Those people I will take. I am also taking a second category of graduates. People who have graduated and would like to try out something in a form of entrepreneurship. Not that you are going to become my worker for life, or become my worker for a short time when you get a better chance and you run away. I'm also considering for people who will say, yes, I want to become an entrepreneur, work with you, be part of your business. We have opened our company for young people who come with skill, and part of their skill will be part of their shares. Then they can stay if they feel they want to work, especially if they have a team spirit. They can work in a team, and they are looking at programming and remain programmers, not only as employees, but eventually as owners of the company. Because what we are going to do together is dreaming together for the future and be able to work now and look at the future. Because for him, he got a chance, he already has a product. It is a developed product. He's taking that out for marketing. But we will also give a chance for people who would like to begin from zero, code one, until this code becomes into something that you can take out into the market. So we are very open. Even if you want to talk to me or David now, we are very open for both grades.
And if you want me to link you to him, I am also open. Yes, there you have it. Opportunities for young developers out there. It's really good to grow an environment that has products already, other than really suffering alone. So our first set of session is done. We are going to the last one. And the last one will focus on marketing, financing our products. And I will give each one of us a chance to share as we conclude, because by 2 we need to be done. Once again, we are live on Iraka TV, and our colleague Mr. Sankara is behind the production. And we have Ivan in the room as well, who is also a developer at EYIT. Ivan, as a developer, and you have trained and mentored quite a number of young people, some are here. So what's your journey? What is it that you can share with us in a few minutes from your experience as a developer, at the same time mentoring or training? Because our main here is to mentor young people. So we have no business developing software. If there comes an opportunity for us, maybe a business has come, usually our role is to look out for brains like you, or brains we have trained. But our business, we don't have business being business, but we want to create the opportunity for those who want to succeed in business. So when you succeed in business and we have helped you, then it's our success as well. But we have Ivan who has been developing some innovations, at the same time training and mentoring young people. What is it that you have seen and you can share with us that other young people out there could benefit from you? In a few minutes, then I will open up any other person to engage the panel before we go for the second session. If you have any question, you have any recommendation, you have any suggestion, feel free to chip in as we wait to go for the second session.
Okay. I think good afternoon everyone. I have not spoken at all within this session. My name is called Ivan Amanya. I'm a computer engineer by profession. I finished with this young man, Mr. Otim, we are in the same class. And my passion for programming or software development started when I was still at campus. We actually graduated in 2018. So how I started is in my second internship. As computer engineers, we do two kinds of internships. The first one is in third year, then the other one is in fourth year. So my last internship, I was working with a company within town, which is Innovation Streams, iStreams. So they had a program that we would apply for and go the mentor somehow. So that's where my journey started. Me actually started working when I was still at campus. So in my last internship, as I said, the company took me in as an internee. So in that period, we are supposed to develop like prototypes to present. So in the process of presentation, me, I took like, I don't know how to say it, but like an extra effort. I could spend sleepless nights because we had like a huge project for the company. So the project was about the company. So me and my colleague, we sat down, we prepared. We would not even go to the company. We would just sit somewhere, whether at campus, whether in anywhere where there is internet, we would work on it. So we put in a lot of effort. So when at the end, when we presented, they actually welcomed the idea. They were like, huh? So these are the people we are looking for. So both of us, they put us under a program like continuation. So they would, when projects would come, would be also considered, and maybe some money would be paid to us. But that now built our career. It started as just campus students just doing some small programming, but at the end of the day, how we benefited is that we were taken in on a special program where we were trained further, and at the end of the day, for us, even still at campus, we would go have a place to sit and enjoy life. Then after campus, immediately me, I just joined the team at Innovation Streams. So my journey in software development, I started when I was at campus. So what I tell to these young innovators who are here, probably who are still at campus, it's not that you are going to learn these things maybe after campus, or someone is going to actually teach you. As I said, we would put in that, I don't know how to put it, that extra effort. Look for internet wherever it is and build something so that we would be recognized and taken in. At the end of the day, we are here and we are working probably. So that was like part of my journey, like from way back up to from campus up to when I joined the EYIT. How did I join this place? Yeah, it was I think last year in is it like September, August there. I was just at campus, jobless, as most people here in software development, you just consider ourselves having no work at all. But I was at campus seated and I received a call from Mr. Ronald. I don't know who told him about me, but I hear it is someone like I was working for, working with before, who was a master's student, like a student at master. So she gave him my number. He called me and was like, I have an initiative in town. It's called Empower Youth in Technology. I've heard you're good at developing this and this. So can we meet and share something? I remember it was one evening. It was at night actually. I met with him on the road. We just discussed a few things. What can you do? I was like, I have simple programming skills, but I hope I can improve given the opportunity. So Ronald wasn't a bad man. He just welcomed me at EYIT. I came here during internship last year. I started with students. I introduced myself. I started the process of mentoring. Remember, I had just finished campus. I didn't have any experience. The only experience I had was from the previous company I was working with, which was just take part of a project, develop some few codes. That's it. So I came in this place. Mr. Sanga and Ronald welcomed me. I went through also a mentorship program. Now, as I speak now, I'm the lead software developer here. I'm the team leader of the software department, and I'm also now mentoring other students. So my journey is not so complicated. It is just direct, but at the end of the day, I'm so proud to be part of this great innovation company. And actually, I consider myself one of the leading software developers in town, because I have taken, and like you can see my eyes are red. But why that's the situation is that me, I sleep like at 4. As software developer, I normally tell my students that like what father said, like that zeal, like you feel like you should you wake up at midnight and do coding. Me, I don't sleep at all. I actually sleep in the morning, because if I feel I don't finish something, I won't sleep. That is for sure. So that's why I'm thankful for the great time my students are here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Ivan has developed quite a number of innovations. Very soon we are going to be launching all of them one by one. And like he has explained, his role is to get, mentor, and release. And I think from his hands we could have mentored more than 100. So that is Ivan. If we have any other comment from the public, we could just how many? So let us recognize Hive Forum. The Hub Manager Hive Forum is here, Mr. Drake. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, given a chance to hear us what they have for us as software developers at Hive Forum. Let's hear from the Director of Federation for Youth Empowerment. Foundation for Youth Empowerment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. I'm humbled to be here. My name is Ivan Nwagaba, the Project Director at Foundation for Youth Empowerment. I also work with a radio station around, that's Vision Radio. I've been on radio for the last 6 years. I'm still there, but the other side, I'm employed in the ICT sector. So I'm humbled to be with the software developers here. I'm new in the industry. I don't know where my path is going to be, but apparently I'm into mentorship. I don't have the skills in ICT, but I'm doing the other work of administration, because I'm the project director and we're empowering youth in technology like EYIT. So for us, we're empowering youth in a lot of things. We are a registered CBO, community-based organization here, and ICT is one of the areas we're looking at, empowering youth in technology. As we say that Uganda maybe is going to empower or is going to employ a lot of people in the ICT sector, and I think in the post-COVID world, we can look at now the computer skills. If someone is not in the IT sector, I think it's going to be very hard for them, because in the IT sector, you can work from home. People are working from home in the US, education is going on, people are learning from home, and everything is going on. They have been doing even exams, so nothing has stopped them from education because of technology. So I'm humbled to be here, and this kind of partnership I think is very key for us in Mbarara, because Mbarara is a city and there are yet a number of opportunities that are underway. They're going to come, so if they find us organized, that means we're going to be the beneficiaries. I think there is even money in the ICT sector to go to the ICT drivers, most especially in a developing city like Mbarara. So I think if you work together and have a lot of workshops like this, where you get to know each other and you develop a lot of ideas, I think that can be cool for us. So Foundation for Youth Empowerment is open also to you guys, because for us we are majoring in soft skills right now, teaching how to, rather the basics, graphics designing, teaching people how to develop, how to develop the email addresses and stuff like that, because it's a challenging world where you find that in Mbarara, if you grab like 100 people, a sample of 100 people, you find that at least 5 of them have email addresses and they're using them. So we need to have so many people embrace ICT and get to benefit from it. So thank you so much. I think I'll be sharing more knowledge. If you come, you can always come and find us at Foyer. we always have a lot of deals for the people who are in the country.
We have limited time.
Yes.
Tell us your name and what you do and what you want to contribute.
Well, I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you, Mr. Ronald. I'm Christopher from Japan, and I'm a finalist at MAST. I have my mentor there, Mr. Jonah with you, the panel there. But maybe it might not be a contribution. It might even look, they may look very simple and silly questions. I'm sorry to say so. But I would like to know, and maybe someone else also outside there will need to know, or the younger developers, or those ones who are willing to join the development cycle. From the panelists who are over there, how long can someone take really? Because maybe someone wants to join, or is joining, is new in the field, he's wondering how long can it take for someone, for you actually to believe in yourself, I am now a developer, or I am now worthy, being given a project, or sitting on a team working on a project. Two, how easily can this person actually catch up with the skills needed for development, with the skills required for someone to be in the development industry? Thank you very much, and I'm glad.
Okay, we have questions. Yes, I think it's already being answered, but let's first get any other person to contribute. Then we are going to have his questions answered by any of us, because his questions are still open. Your name and what you do?
So my name is Akari. I'm a teacher by occupation, but I'm a developer by case and passion. Yeah. So we have developed a system, me and Mr. Jonah, senior developer, where all developers will go and upload their services such that the whole world can see their services and hire them. So we have developed a website called, the name is called, the domain is called Let Work Be Done. So after here, you are going to check it and see whether you can upload your services. It has all the categories. You browse all the categories and you choose the one where you can bid, and you see whether you can start selling there. Recently, we integrated mobile money. Currently, after getting your money, you are able to withdraw using MTN and Airtel. Thank you very much.
So, and you need to tell them that EYIT has given you a platform to do your business. Yeah, he sits here for us, like Father said, he doesn't need to go out there to look for an office. Yet he can come here, he's pressed his internet, and he can do his business. So when you succeed, I also give you my MTN number. So any other question, then we can answer the gentleman's question. Any other contribution? Yes. So let's go back. Yes.
Maybe I just want to say, I saw let work be done. I saw that thing somewhere.
Yes, work be done.
Yesterday. But I don't remember where I saw it, but at least I saw it somewhere. Let work be done, but I didn't know the answer. But now I know.
Now you know, and please let all your work be done. Let's come back to Otim. Who else wants to answer? Yes, Otim and Jonah can answer his question. Jonah is your mentor, so he will answer. So let's start with Otim.
Yes. First of all, I want to set a disclaimer, because we all learn differently and we all have different resources to aid that learning. So the answer I give is based on maybe my experience and probably a few other people I've interacted with. Lately I've been seeing a trend whereby people who have no programming, I like he's a teacher by profession, but he's developing software. More people are entering into the field of software industry from non-tech background. I can say two things to that. One is that, Father said that many people who have done IT tend to shy away from programming. And that's very true, because I read an article where they said most people in Uganda who have done IT are this wide, but only this deep. Meaning that you have a lot of, can I say, knowledge, but you don't really specialize to dig deep in a skill.
You know little about much.
Yes, you know it about much, exactly. So meaning that with time, if somebody engaged you further, you wouldn't really give them the result they want. And also because you have so many options, you tend not to specialize. When programming becomes hard, you go to hardware. When hardware becomes hard, you go to networking. Then at the end of the day, you become a jack of all trades but master of none. So, to his question, how long would it take to become a developer? The first thing I would say, this is a lifelong journey. You have to be an addictive learner, willing to learn, because the programming language is a tool, okay? And just like every tool, you need to give it time to develop expertise in it. Then, when the time for that tool passes, you need to pick up another tool, otherwise you'll be rendered obsolete when that tool is not useful. So I would say that, first of all, the first thing is, before I say time, is commit. Committing meaning that, make sure that it becomes part of you. Then, have a strategy. To somebody in first year, I say, learn as much as you can, everything. To somebody in third year, I say, stop learning everything and start focusing. Such that, because by the time you learned everything in first year, second year, you realize this one this one works best for me. I can be more interested in maybe Java better than maybe Python. So when you're in first year, second year, you can explore, but as you become a finalist, you have to start digging deeper into the skill, because people don't pay you for what you know, people pay you for what you can do. And if you consistently did code as a finalist between now and let's say next year, if you consistently focused on a technology stack that one is trending in both our local market and you learned it to a level where you can do something that can compete even outside, and you consistently did that for about 2-3 months, then don't get lost in the tutorial trap, or some people call tutorial hell, whereby you only, some people without Google and without YouTube, they can't really write code. Remove YouTube and Google, they will not do anything. Instead, after getting the basics for the tutorial, the fundamentals are very important. Once you have the fundamentals, all the other things you always learn based on the project, because every project will be unique. So what you do is get the fundamentals right, spend much time on the fundamentals to understand the concept and the technology, then start practicing on projects. It doesn't necessarily have to be a real client project, but you can pick up any project, help somebody around you, develop, identify a problem and try to do what, and try to see what you can do with it. Because maybe as I summarize, my first experience was that sometimes when I was starting out, I would watch a tutorial, do 2-3 tutorials, then I'm like, okay, now let me do a project, Android app on my own. I open the IDE and everything is blank. And I'm like, I spent almost 2 weeks following different tutorials, okay? But then I realized that it is because I thought I needed them so much to get my output. So I had to break out of that tutorial gap. Then maybe one thing that every developer can secretly agree with is that there's something called imposter syndrome. You feel like you've not learned enough because there's too much information in this field. The best projects I've realized is this, and the people always work with. I like people whereby when you have a project, we all don't know where we want to start from, because there we are going to learn. If you have a project and you feel like you have it figured out from start to finish, okay, get this from me, okay? Sometimes you don't know where you're going to start from, you don't know where, but just know that, okay, yes, I can do this thing if I give it time and I commit to it. Then, those are the projects that are going to task you to learn, and after the end of the project, you're like, was this us? How did we reach here? Okay? So the most thing I can say is be consistent in your learning journey, learn every day, learn as much as you can, get mentors, but don't get in the tutorial trap, and 2-3 months down the road, consistently doing one thing every day will take you will take you very far away than maybe just picking one day and doing maybe intensively. Thank you.
I guess the question was well answered. Even if you don't bring Jonah in, Jonah is the main running out of time. We need to go. So I don't know if the producer can allow us have a very, very short break, then we come for the second session. Is it allowed? So let's just, in a few minutes, we can go for a short call, we can go for the second session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ganda world. If you're home watching, this is history in the making. Now, we're going to perform to you 5 songs, just 5. And the first one will be called Bakasimba. I think I'll let my brother explain a little bit deeper about it.
Abakisimba bibachiwomya. It is a prayer. And I hope you love it. And I hope you have a good time with it. It's our next song.
In every nation, there's a soul that is lost. Every day, every day, every night. One time, like a line for the motherland. Still I stand on the other hand. Take a chance if you understand. Make a change now if you can. Come to my side of the world. Share the word, share the love. Still a bit from hinterland. Say a prayer from Neverland. In your heart you can understand. Take your place in the motherland. Oh yeah. Still a lights on the overland as we dream of another land. Making peace stretch in our hands. Feel the wheel pass from man to man. Man to man, 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 man to man, man, man. Inspiration, love a nation, brings liberation. Imagination, recreation, salutation and salutation. Take your place in the motherland. Light a light on motherland. Still a stand on the other hand. Take a change if you understand. Make a change now if you can. Come to my side of the world. nsabiriza nsabasabasaba lulibala omunda kumpa aboluganda nab'ebikwata ndikufumbira lumunda woma ndikufumbira kufumbira 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 nsaba katonda kumpe salaganda nsaba katonda kunkwase lulibala omunda kumpa la foundation ndikufumbira lumunda woma brings liberation nsaba katonda kumpe sabiriza nsabasabasaba lulibala omunda kumpa aboluganda nab'ebikwata ndikufumbira lumunda woma ndikufumbira kufumbira 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 nsaba katonda kumpe.
Yes, yes, yes. That is our first song called Baki Simba. Thank you for everyone who has just joined in. And if you have just joined in, tell a friend that the Ganda boys are live.
Yes, welcome back to our second segment. This is still Ronald, and we are bringing you live the Software Developers Experience Meetup, and we are featuring a panel of senior software developers in Mbarara. So this discussion is brought to you by Uganda Limited, Maftech Technologies, Big Technologies, and these companies have come together as software developers to bring us this discussion. And we are also partnering with Iraka TV and Iraka Radio, and this discussion is live on Iraka TV. So the first discussion focused on tapping into experience of software developers, how they have been able to build relationship with customers, how they have been able to build quality software products even when they are attracting a little bit of low pay, and they have all shared the experience on how they have maneuvered. So right now we're going to focus on how best they are financing their innovations, how they are marketing, and where they see themselves, so that us who are joining the industry can learn from them. So I'll begin by a highlight from the Permanent Secretary, Minister of ICT, Vincent Magire. When they were launching Andea in Uganda, he actually mentioned key things that are affecting the software development industry. He said the industry lacks financial resources. He said there is duplication of technology systems, duplication. He talked about inadequate public-private partnerships. Then he said expensive data, skills gap. Then limited market. So we want to understand from you if all these are true according to you, and if you have come up with some solutions towards these challenges. He highlighted limited financial resources. He highlighted, of course, lack of market. He highlighted duplication of tech systems. He highlighted expensive data. He highlighted skills gap. That there are some of the things as to why the software industry is not growing very, very fast. So several initiatives have come up to support the skills gap. When we talk of so many companies training, then you had Andera training, all those ones are addressing the skills gap. But there is little attention when it comes to financial resources gap, because much as risk has come up to handle the financial resources gap, but every year they are able to support maybe 10 or 20 developers, but remember they receive so many applications, so the financial resources gap is there. Then the marketing gap. So I want to get from you, and I will begin with Fad. And why I'm beginning with Fad, at least probably he could have handled the financial gap, I don't know, he will tell us. And also when I was checking through the website here, Forbes, we know Forbes, and Forbes said 90% of startups fail. 90%. So what does that mean? If all of us here, 10 of us come up with startups, it means how many will fail? 9 will fail and only 1 will succeed. You see the disaster. And some of the reasons could be these ones. Maybe lack of market, maybe financial resources, maybe skills, because skills might not necessarily be a developer's perspective for us who would know coding. Maybe they meant marketing skills or communication skills. So you get where I'm coming from. So we want to now tap into sustainability, the success of what we start. So I'm going to start with is further the perspective according to permanent secretary's views. What do you think is causing all this, and how have you been able to finance some of your activities in the software development world? And how are you able to tap into the market? How do you create that market? How do you get the market? And maybe from your experience, young developers can learn from you how they are going to tap into the market that is out there for software development solutions. Thank you so much, Father. You can start us off.
For me, I think one of the finances is a big issue. But when we were starting, that's not what we looked at first. We looked at which problem do we want to solve? What impact are we going to give to society? Where is the world going? What is going to happen in the next 15 years? So I think it began with that, with a dream. I don't know whether this example is appropriate. People who smoke, they will always find money for their smoke, even when they don't have it. Why? Because that's what they want to do, and even when they don't want to do it, they have an impulse to do it. So we looked at that. What is our dream? So for us, we began with a dream. What problems do we want to solve? And what challenges are there? So that's where we began from. And at that moment, we began with, we have so many people. Originally, our relay began in evangelization. But we have so many people, we can't reach them. Even we have people who want to support our ministry, but then how do they give us that support? So we started small by developing, we call it Banywanivito database. And in the Banywanivito database now, we have more than 18,300 members in that database. So we started creating database. How do we create this database? So that it will help the friends of the community to be able to work. So that's where we began from. And then we found, if we can be able to do that database, and we have so many members there, then we can start looking at other things. Then we looked into agriculture, and now we also looked into trade, e-commerce, and then we looked into the problem of you are not only talking about companies dying at such a rate, but we also looked at this sector, savings and credit. Why is it that only 20% of the circles survive? Some of them it's because they don't have an accounting system, and they also don't have that skill. So we are always looking for a problem and wanting to solve the problem. Secondly, then from that, when you solve a problem, usually it follows that money will come with it. If you are not solving any problem, why should somebody give you money? For what? I am not solving your problem. Why should I give you money? There is no reason why I should give you money. So usually it will come with that. Now, we don't have all the resources that we need now. That's why we need marketing. So when we market more, we earn a little bit more. That's how it works. But also because we have passion for it. In my case, I decided to put in my private resources into these young people who have the passion to do it. So I take even from my personal projects, either from the farm or either from other resources that I already have, to be able to start doing this work, with the hope that it will shoot up and gain more people who will come in. Secondly, there are also resources outside there. which we can write and have them. But usually you must begin with a traction. If you are not doing anything, nobody wants to support you. So the moment you want to do something and solve this problem, then the issue of finances will also come, and then we will look at the solution. At the moment, yes, people who are involved in software development, then we don't have all the resources. I think that's why government, other people have come in. The moment you are genuine, I think the resources will come. If you are not genuine, or if you are looking at short term, they will not come. So we put in, other people put in another form, and that's how we have been surviving. We are earning, we are not yet at a full break even. We, at times in some months, we have to look for other resources to be able to survive. We earn, it's not yet a surplus, but we hope that will come with time. But we are still surviving. 7 years, 2012 up to now, we are still surviving. At least we survived our first birthday. Now we are still.
When you look at the issue of funding or financing tech startups, in some developed economies, we have quite a number of angel investors, venture capitalists. Then we have crowdfunding. But some of these are not available. And what is available, probably the biggest at the moment, which can easily finance startups, are the donor grants. So from your experience, how would you guide these young people who have developed innovations? Maybe now they want to launch, maybe they want to pilot, but all they are looking for is that capability to tap into donor funding. From your experience, because the purpose of this engagement, a partnership can come out. For instance, there could be a young man out there has a very, very good innovation, but like I explained, there is no investor who can trust him or her with his or her money. They need to belong somewhere. But then we have a leader that is credible 7 years down the road. It is very possible I can come with my product, we work together to tap into donor funding, we get resources, and then we push our work. So what can you tell these young people about getting into donor funding, the grants world? Because that is one way young people can get resources.
I think the grants world, we are focusing on it, but not putting all our effort on the grants. Or investors, either angel investors or whichever level of investors, they will always want you to have traction. You must already be doing business that is generating income, or your platform is already functional. Then they can think of supporting you. They are not going to support you when you are a complete startup, even without a company. It will be very hard. But also working as a team, it helps. The back-end developers, they will do their work. The front-end developers will also do their work. But us who are in the administration and in the marketing, we must do our work. And when you are working as a team and you continue strengthening the team, you continue becoming a little bit stronger. I think there is a need to continue working as a team, because if you have smaller resources, then you can put them together. And all donors, they will ask you for your team. There is no donor who is going to pay to give money to a freelancer. No. They will ask you for a team. Are you working as a team? Because they know you cannot be a marketeer. You cannot be a developer. At the same time, be an administrator. And at the same time, be an accountant. It won't work. You need to work as a team. And that's the only way. Even if you are a complete startup like embassies are supporting money for startups. But they will ask you for a team. You must build a team. You can't do accounts and do code, write code. It can't work. They will always, if you are looking for donor money, they will always ask you for a team. I think that's what I can say.
So the key highlight from the discussion.
But also to answer your question, If somebody has a product and would like to work with us, and we give the umbrella, either for continuation or for growth when you are going to be planted on your own, we give you an opportunity.
So we have heard, you need a team, you need to build traction. And these things cannot come easy when you have just started. That's why we go back to the earlier discussion, we need to build synergies, we need to collaborate. You're a software developer, you will need Felix to help you on branding. You will not run away from it. But the mistake we make, we only come together with one skill set. We are all software developers, we find ourselves in a room, and there is no investor out there who will trust us. Because first of all, we don't know how to develop a very good business plan. Me and father applied for a certain grant some time back. We had to pull all resources. Bring your bank statement. My bank statement had like 10 million. He had his, and we were able to pull something like 400 million, and we applied for a grant that required that much. So you realize even if I needed the whole family, my whole extended family, we couldn't have applied for this. But just teaming up with father, we were able to. And these are the things we need as software developers. So he has explained, let's tap into what other people have done. Maybe from Jonah's side. 10 years writing code, 4 years running the company. How has it been like financing it up to now? How? Because you have not closed, so we give you a benefit of doubt. You're still there 4 years. So like Father explained, we have gone through first birthday, second, now fourth. So you qualify to really be old man of the clan, ideally. So tell us how you have been able to finance your work, at the same time create market for your products.
Anyway, maybe if I'm take us back to how I really started. When I said I wrote my first line of code 10 years ago, that wasn't on the professional side. Making money out of code, I'm 8 years old. However, the first years of writing code, I was doing it for money, like, okay, that's the second part of the first years, yeah, from 2012. My first pay was 30,000, and it was more of like freelance almost. Someone calls me and is like, John, I have a simple thing here, can you help me solve it? Something like that. So from 30,000, I kept on improving to 100, my stake went high. All that while I was working as a freelancer. I did that for about 2 years to 3 years. Then I got a bit more formal because of several reasons. I got pressed on bigger deals. I would encourage my brothers here, if you've not yet gotten into a company, you really need to do so. You will not get big deals if you're still a freelancer. I got pressed when it came to bigger deals. They wanted to deal with someone who has a team, someone who has a certificate of incorporation, and that's when I had to think along that line. Now, you find that the money I kept making from the freelance bit, one, that is what was keeping me survive. So as I was doing that, I was doing products in two kinds of ways. I was developing in two kinds of ways. One, I would develop a client-based kind of project whereby you come directly and you hire my services. You say you need this product. Now, as I was doing that, people would come along that kind of setup. They would pay immediately. I was also developing the long-term projects, the ones that will keep bringing in money, the products that I'm still earning from up to now. For example, as I was doing those mini projects of 200,000, 300 at the start of my career, I was developing, for example, that solution for schools, which up to now I'm still installing for several other people. As that one was being installed and it was beginning to bring money, I thought of another product. I did something also for circles. By the way, further people might need to look at it. I did something for circles, then something for pharmacies. So the money that I got from the freelance bit helped me to facilitate the development of other projects. Now, these projects, as they were also coming up, I was trying to look at, will they bring money in the long term? I started ensuring that their quality was good by doing those tests. So they also rolled out in the market. So it more became like a sequence. From again that setup of projects which are in form of I've done this software that maybe I could install for schools or maybe clinics, maybe pharmacies, maybe supermarkets. We are now moving away from that direction and now thinking in terms of how about an app that I don't need to look for him to convince him to pay me. You mark that change in trend? From the others that he would approach me and say, look here, Jonah, I need you to do for me a website, maybe. I moved away from that and said, okay, what if I did a product which tomorrow when I call him and say, you have a petrol station, but I have a solution for petrol stations. Then he says, okay, you can come and we talk. Those kept me on my feet, and now I'm looking at solutions like the Brain Planet, which I will put up and someone just accesses it from wherever they are and maybe make a small kind of contribution. Yeah, for example, with the Brain Planet, it's just 10,000. So you find that I don't need to look for him to give me that 10,000. The service is available online, and such a service is bringing in money in such a way that I don't need to physically look for clients. The same way I was looking for them for the other products which I had developed for the school and for the pharmacies. So that's the journey that I've been moving, and I'm still moving as far as financing these software products is concerned. Yeah, I've tackled a bit of investing in and then the returns coming back.
Marketing. How have you handled the part of marketing which is a little bit hectic because you have worked around, yet there is Felix who is studying, who has studied marketing and his business is marketing. You're not working with him, but still you're marketing. How are you doing it and you're leaving him behind? How do you manage?
Now, the marketing bit, down the years I've come to do it in two kinds of ways. One approach is what we in our jargon call food soldiers. Myself, then some other people who have teamed up with me, creating that awareness. We create that awareness in the following ways. One, we could talk to him. He said he has that database of around 18,000 people. If we got contacts of that kind, we shall send them SMSs, for example, to let them know that we have a service that they might need. We have a bit of social media. That one is one of the cheapest, by the way, today. I just need to load some little data bundles, write a post or create a simple graphic, then let people know I post. I have almost 5,000 friends, so if I posted and shared, then he also did the same, and we on the same team. We are creating awareness to so many people, and we are doing this at a low cost, because as a startup you might not have money to run an ad on TV maybe, or in a newspaper. It is quite expensive. But here we are trying to let so many people know. Then in addition to doing that on social media, of course, Facebook, then WhatsApp also, I will do that of course every day. We shall also run out and meet people still physically. I approach him, tell him, look here, we do something like this. I try to talk to him about that. That is one bit. The other bit, we call it the referral campaign. We keep running a referral campaign as a company. This referral campaign runs in such a way that if he's our client, I need to talk to him after he's satisfied with our product. I tell him, look here, you're using this software and you're a circle. Do you have friends do you have colleagues whom you know who are running circles? He says yes. Did you know that you can make an extra coin by just calling them and telling them that there are those guys from Bara who gave us this product and it's working well for us? Maybe you could try to interact with them. So when we convince him, remember he's already using the product, he already paid for it. But when we convince him to tell other people, then he will tell them and they will trust him because they know him. And once we get into business with the other people, we could give him a small cut. And after doing that, we again convince the other people to also tell other people, as we again remind him, by the way, if you tell others, you will again earn some more. So that is also another channel we take when we are doing the marketing bit. The strongest weapon is ensure that wherever you go to do the work, you don't disappoint. Because the same way we are doing the referral campaign, it can be a bad referral campaign on our side. He will call back and he says, the man you gave me, the guy gave him the deposit, he switched off his phone. Then after that, he will get back to me and he will say, now, sincerely, if at all he got to know me through him, he will call him and tell him, you guy, that man you gave me, your man, he's really bad, he's now not doing this. Yeah, so You try to keep that good relationship, like I said much more earlier on, and that is also part of marketing. Yeah, it's actually the strongest weapon. The referrals will come in. Yeah, and reward the people who do the referrals for you. You will get the business.
Yes, thank you so much, Jonah. So in Jonah's explanation, there came in two things. What I would call the open software and what I would call, I'm going to use the word organization-based software. You have built a software for a school, and your role is to move to every school to look for business. Another person has created Brain Planet, which is out there and every other person can use. So what's the way to go? Maybe I will tap into Father's experience and Ivan. Because my view is when we started, especially I saw Jonah Ice Creams and other companies, they had a school management system somewhere, then there was a hospital management system somewhere, and you have to start counting schools, and you count hospitals, then you start going to sell. But then, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, the thing is out there, just use and people are making money. So why are we hustling with building systems which depend on you moving to every client to convince them, not focusing on building something and you're always on a market, and people are just embracing it? I will tap into Ivan and further, starting with Ivan. Because that would be one of the reasons as to why you struggle so hard to get the market. Because your client is one and you have to look for that client.
Well, thank you, Ronald. Things are tricky, most especially if you are in a concentrated area. You find you are 10 companies, all of you have a school management system, and Jonas was the first one. So every time you go to a client, he will be telling you, but there is the other school which has one. Do you have the same one? So along that way you have to think and know that if Jonah is providing a school management system, at one point those schools are going to, let's say, need to have their system online. So come up with the solution of helping Jonah transform the system online and provide him a service. Then there Jonah is telling him his school system, because it has been in market, it is hard to compete it, because these are the clients which are in the same area. So find a way in which you can collaborate with Jonah. Instead of you spending other 2 years which Jonah spent, let's say, developing the same software, now collaborate with Jonah and say, every client of mine who pays, let's say, 2 million, 50% is mine and is my client, I do the installation. And spend the 2 years, let's say, developing another software which Jonah doesn't have. Because if you say that, okay, Jonah has it, I want to compete with him, let's go. And you also spend other 2 years developing the same solution and the same market area of Mbarara, then it is going to be very hard. So it is finding a way in which you can collaborate with Jonah. Like my friend was telling at first, we need to collaborate and see what solution does the father's company have. It has, yes, it is working on delivery. So don't tap into delivery directly. Maybe delivery application will need an SMS service. Tap into the SMS service and say, Father, yes, you have a delivery, but what if my company can provide the SMS services in that app of yours? So along the way, that's how we have been working, and you find that most of the guys doing software development have been part of our client base. Yes, they be having a solution, but we find something which we as a company can add in that solution, and we make a partnership. Because if you say that you're going to make a stiff competition to each and every developer out there, you will not grow. All of you have different skill set. This one will develop an application which is in yellow, another will develop an application which is in blue. But you find it is all related. So some clients will need blue, some clients will need yellow. But all in all, they are the same thing. So it is a matter of coming together and make that application more bigger. Instead of making one thing which is small, everyone has a small thing, how about we come together, make it bigger, and maybe it can compete internationally or national or across East Africa. So all along what we have been doing is to find a way in which we collaborate with other people, what they already have, mostly the developers, and we see how we can work together. What we have, we sell to them, and what they also have, they sell to us. So, but when we are appearing to a client, we appear as us providing the service, which we don't necessarily do at ourselves, but getting it from Jonah. So if we also have a service which Jonah doesn't have, Jonah can present it as Jonah's company, but most when it is coming from us. The other remains Jonah's client. So all along that, you find a way of playing it cool and finding a way of using the resources which could have been wasted, which I can say, and developing something better.
So the fundamental question will still be, how do we work together even when we have similar interests?
Yes.
Who further can come in?
I think all of us who have come here once or twice are looking for that. And as a takeaway for every workshop like this, there must be a follow-up. If there is no follow-up, we will all continue developing in scattered. What we are trying to do at Ahurire, and I think we are also in the final stages, is to create a virtualization engine. The engine is supposed to be, when you develop, we integrate. We share the APIs and we integrate. We may not necessarily need to compete. If I'm integrated with you, there is not going to be competition, because you will do what you are doing best. You will upgrade what you are doing in a best way. We share the APIs, we integrate, and then we, like the way we are doing now with all payments. I'm not going to develop a payment while I can integrate with MTN and Airtel. So we share the APIs, we share. Normally, if you are not a company, there is no way you are going to integrate with MTN. They will ask you all that, anything to do with URA. The process is very big. But you might find that what you have already done, we can integrate, and then we use the service. But we need to know. We also need to have that interaction. That partnership has to grow, because these days you can't. For me, the cake is so big. Okay, there is no need for us to start fighting over a smaller competition. While we can integrate, we look at what you can share and what you can share, what you can provide best, and we go on. We only need a forum for us to be able to do that.
So the follow-up. So in my opening remarks, I hinted on forming something like a software society. There are some things we can have in place to guide us in whatever we are doing, and who knows? Let's see what happens next. So if you have any question or reaction or what, I'm going to get you immediately after the two submissions from Otim and Robert. So I want to tap into your work as freelancers, because the issue of financing, the issue of marketing, because for you, I don't know if you have products that you're putting out there or you're going to get work. So if that is the case, maybe you might not worry so much on financing or marketing. But people like your father, Jonah and Ivan, they have products and they want the world to know about their products. So that will come with financial resources, will come with a lot of things and building a team and all that. But we can get your views regarding duplication, regarding financing, regarding marketing of the tech innovation, those software products, starting with Robert, then with him next.
Yeah, I think I have to stress that we all need the finances despite the fact that maybe they're a company and a freelancer. Because in everything that we do, we need to keep going, and our day-to-day life requires us to have resources to use. So personally, when starting up as a developer, I had challenges of like, yes, you have money, but then maybe in a short while, you take long to get another project to work on, and so you're out of cash, you're out of rent money. And so I started coming up with solutions of like, how am I going to make sure that I maintain, I don't have to go through stress of, you know, calling home for some support. And so I worked on what we call like the software as a service platforms, like an SMSing platform, where I had like an API which I shared with companies. They use it, and at the end of the month, I know that even though I have no job in the month, I can still survive greatly. And then the other thing is one of the reasons why I do freelancing is that I wanted to engage in ministry, and one of the ministry as a Christian is I do ministry with university students. So as engaging with them, you know, these guys leave university. Some of them leave when they have ideas to work on, and these people they have nobody just to tap on them and show them that, okay, let's do this. So some of the money I've been trying to get through the projects and through the software and the service platforms is to have tried to partner with these people, more like venture capitalizing with them, so that they have their ideas out there, but at also the end of the day, you also have a cut from their ideas, because they have like for example, I am engaged in agriculture. I can't do agriculture. I'm not as knowledgeable as somebody who has done an agriculture degree. So I partner with them, knowing that we are all going to benefit, and at the end of the day, the money that I get is going to help me finance some of the ideas personally I have that will help me get to where I want to go.
One of the ways as to how startups finance themselves is through what you call bootstrapping, or what other people call self-funding, where you will mobilize friends and family, you tap into your own. So what's your view? What should be the strategy to deal with that kind of bootstrapping? Have you focused on that, or your role is to just go and what works is that, and you have reached here?
Well, the bootstrapping is so important. We all need, you see, like what has been the main thing through this workshop is that, and as all of us have realized over a couple of years, is that you cannot stand as an island. You see, the laptop we are using here to help us do the broadcasting is, you find the processor is done by Intel. You find that parts are designed by different companies. But then the laptop itself is maybe branded as HP, but inside there are a couple of things. So we ourselves, that when it gets to maybe like try to get money, is that we have me as a freelancing developer is sometimes I have to use the money I've gained over time, and I have to invest it. Or sometimes is that there is somebody who has the money, but you have the skill. So you partner together, and then you share according to what revenue is generated at the end of the month.
Just from me, I have seen a disaster from freelance software developers. The reason I'm focusing on you, that is where most young people are. When they are not for the first time, usually how it happens, they will try to think and come up with an idea, move around, when they get an opportunity, they accept it. Once the money does not come back, you will not see the guy. It will run away. As opposed to Jonah and the father, it's a company. If the deal does not go through, he still have the company. They will move. Yeah. But the freelancer, he's expecting money and he's not getting it, you will not see the guy. So they always want to have it easy, quickly, get it, run. If you want to be one, how have you dealt with such scenarios? And I know they are very common in your industry. do this. If it does not come, or I want to have it easily. I know I'm taking 1 million, a million, go and have it done for me.
Well,
if it changes, you will not see someone.
I think we've all been there, where you're like, you try out something, it fails, or maybe you try out something and it's good, you know, you get some money or some credibility at the end of it all. But you know, over time, I've realized that you see, living as a freelancer, there are so many things that influence us to be freelancers. It's not that it's it's hard to find that somebody just says, I just want to. There are reasons to why they are engaged in whatever they are doing. And so one of the things I say to other freelancers is that one of the things is to be patient. You see, I have an idea of how things could go, but nobody's going to have it my way. Everybody has, I may be wrong in my opinions, and one thing as a developer realizes that what I think is good for the client is actually a reverse. People don't think like whatever you're bringing up is too complex for them. So patience is key, because moments like that will come. You have something you want to do, and then people want to do it their way. And like Benjamin said, you have to put down your ego, because it's not me to use the software, it's rather the people. So patience is key. And the other thing is experience. It comes with time. Many things we have done them personally, I had to learn the hard way, because I've done so many wrong things, but it is through the mistakes I've done along time that have made me to know that if I get down this road, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole.
Thank you so much. We are going to Tim, maybe in your explanation. As freelancers, I don't know how you effectively manage the sources you get from your work, because father has an accountant and he can account for all the money they receive from all the businesses. Freelancer is the director, is the everything. So, but you also have to grow your own brand, which calls for getting resources, and you manage resources and you invest in yourself, because you may be at your later time, you must have the fast internet as you're working on a certain project. But then how do you handle all of these issues? So Otim can help us, and I think this is your last submission.
Yeah. I think I'll start with the first thing that to manage resources. The first one, to me, the key thing is discipline. Because as a freelancer, I know probably I'm motivated to do this month or not. Okay? So discipline is very, very key. So after that discipline, of course, there's a target that I have. How long can I continue doing freelancing? Because I can't do it forever. Okay? Then at the same time, it also narrows down to what do I want to do and how do I want to do it. Okay? Because now one is that personally as an individual, I don't want to duplicate just like everybody has been here. I don't want to make a school management system when I know someone already has it. Okay? So meaning that I rather, if like now I know journal, actually every time I'm interacting with other developers, I try to see the things they say that they're doing that I feel like I can tap into collaboration with them, then I can use that to expand my market. So meaning that I either tell them, okay, I see their pricing model, okay, and I see how we can all mutually benefit, and at the same time get industry. Because now if I see, like for example, I picked interest in Ivan's product that helps small businesses make websites. So meaning that if I get a small website, all I have to do is now Ivan has become my network. I have to see how I can work with him. Okay. So then the same thing also. I've seen that that Jonah has a product for schools that has been tested very well in local areas. So now this kind of way, it means that I may not necessarily have my own products, okay, but I can have products and services for friends whom I know, and I establish a work relationship with them, and then I tap on that to go into the market. Then as I'm going to the market, I mentioned discipline as my starting point. I have to be disciplined to honor my word to them as negotiating, and I have to be disciplined in honoring the resources. Then I also have to be as transparent as possible, because I can't come to Ivan and tell him this client is giving us maybe, let's say, 5M for this school system, yet I'm earning 10. When he learns that, later on learns that, I've ruined the long work relation. Rather, I have to be like, this client is willing to offer this. Probably their pricing model, they can't pay us maybe all this money at once. So can we agree on how we can really see how we can give them the product still, but we get the money and we see how we can negotiate. So the main thing that I've learned in resource sharing in a in a disciplined way as a freelancer, of course with the target, because I know right now, personally, I'm freelancing because I'm doing some courses at school. So as I'm doing those courses, I don't want just to sit as a student and finish the courses, then start looking for work. No, I want the work should find me rolling. So I get to choose. So when someone presents me work which is not favorable, I can continue doing my course as I'm freelancing until that time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joaquin. At least what has come out of this discussion, we want to see that day when Mountech will collaborate with DigBit to build a big product out there, because we know all of them have potential. You have been there, so you can mobilize all your resources together, put in one basket, build the product, as opposed to doing the same product but different companies. So we wait to see that coming out, and it was in this discussion. Let me first engage the audience. I'm going to do. So from this discussion, we are continuing, but almost coming to the end. In about 10 minutes, we should be summarizing this. And from engaging the audience, and if there is any clarification, we add, then we finish. So 2 people from the audience to react, then we close this out. Let me start with Felix, because his hand was for yours. Then, but from Felix, you next.
Thanks very much, moderator. I don't know what I should say. I'm Tresime Felix Baker Musane, commonly known as MTF Baker, an extension of Barra City. But MTF Baker is the one that makes most. I work with Big Tech Solutions Hub. It's located here in Barra, and it does branding and digital marketing. We have been in business for close to, I think we are in our 3rd year, and like Father was saying, and Jonah Kasinga, we have survived the 2 bad days. So I would like to make some compliments on what I've heard from the main or the panelists, and I would also want to put a little voice to what they have said. That was the man that was seated there. He was talking about the issue of very many developers having the same product, serving the same purpose. Maybe the difference is in the color, and if I may borrow these words. Maybe the solution to that would be, or would go back to what Father said by the time I reached here. He was like, whenever we are putting the product on the market, we think about we think about the problem that our product is solving. If Jonah Kasinga has developed a product which is solving a certain problem, it means that problem is already solved. When you come with a similar product, the only thing you will do is blackmailing Jonah's product, but the solution will be there. And that one doesn't create a healthy competition in the market. As a developer who wants to keep good relations with Jonah Kasinga and his product, but still want to also put your effort, what you should think of is, if Jonah Kasinga has developed a product, there is an inconvenience that the consumers or the clients will have when they are using his product. Think along that line. If maybe his product takes long to inform the clients of updates, then you develop a system that is going to collaborate with Jonah to solve that. Let the motive be solving the problem that the user is facing rather than making Jonah's product or developing the product that looks better than Jonah's product. It won't sell. You'll have it very good, having good interface. Every product, every developer will be appreciating your effort, but it won't be yielding because Jonah was the first in the market. They already know him. The problem is being solved. So there is no reason of moving from Jonah to someone else unless your product is solving another problem. So let's always focus on solving the client's problems rather than developing better products. Yes, you develop them, but it shouldn't be the motive. The motive is solving the problem. To sum it up all, think about the convenience of the client when using the product. That's what we should be looking at. And I think with that it will solve the issue of competition and bad prices in the market. Then there was also... Okay, thank you. There was also a major question about funding. Very many startups have seen or met individuals who are enticing them with sponsorship proposals. Someone sees your idea, they like it, they promise to give you money to boost it. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they are not fulfilling their promises. And remember, for you shift, you raise your appetite for that donation or for that help. It doesn't come 4 months. Now, by the time you realize that it was just a dream, time has already gone. You have to go back to where they found you. I'm not stopping you from trusting such people, but give them 10% of your trust. When you want to solve this issue of funding, don't look at this tangible cash. After all, the major capital in business is not cash, it's the skill. Look around your fellows, like they have said, don't form a team of developers. No. You're all developing one thing facing similar problems. In your team, in your circles, if you are a developer, make sure in your circle you have a graphic designer you always dine with, you always watch football with. Make sure you have an accountant, you have a marketing agent. Then when you're telling them to combine and maybe complete a task, you will be talking about pulling skills, not pulling money. Ugandans, we are not easy at pulling money. If I have a job, I may give an example based on what I do most. Clients are coming, I'm printing them banners, but I don't have a printing machine. Me, my job is designing. I design, then go to the printing area, they print, I deliver the work. Even the clients, I'm frank enough to tell them I don't own these printing machines, but because there is a process that the client likes, he insists, it's like, okay, be the one to finish everything, me just tell me how much it may cost. Look for such circles. If you are designers, don't be a group of 10 designers. That will, you will always be facing similar problems. Then lastly, 30 seconds. Lastly, the issue of surviving as a business. This business, people, when motivational speakers are telling us, they tell us it's easy, just start today, don't wait. But they don't tell you what you're likely to face when you go there. When the reality hits, that's when people start running out. When you're a web developer, when you want to earn money to do web developing as a business, don't concentrate on learning code. Concentrate on what it takes to run a business. We have footballers who are running metal fabrication businesses. They don't know anything about metal fabrication, but they are running those businesses very well. Take yourself, if you are a web developer running a business of web developing, first take yourself as a staff in that business. That's when you're doing that web developing. But when you come to the business, go aside. Let marketing agents take their role. Let sales people take their role. For you coming,
Mr. Felix, we are running out of time, sorry, but since we were having a few months or weeks or days from now business clinics, those are some of the things we can be sharing. So let's have Foundation for Youth Empowerment Director to contribute, and please use 1 minute.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. This question will go to Father because I think he has some experience, much more experience than any other person, maybe Jonah or any other person here in this sector. As an advocate of SDG 5 gender equality, I've seen not only in Mbarara, but maybe the whole of Uganda, most of the developers are men. So what are you looking at, apparently, so that you have a lot of developers who are girls or even women? Thanks to EYIT, I can see some 2 girls you're mentoring here in this kind of sector, and I think we should have so many females who are seated on this panel. The next time maybe we come here, Father, we'll talk about that because you have some expertise in this business. Thank you.
I was not expecting to answer this question in front of the ladies, but since they are here, they will shut their ears. Programming. In most cases, you will find that men are doing much better than ladies. I don't know why, but it takes a certain lot of concentration. And I have been recruiting software developers, but normally ladies don't want to do that. They just don't want. I don't know why, but they don't want. But because it needs a certain concentration, it's like if you ask me to become pregnant. It's not very easy. It seems software development, as far as coding is concerned, and even if you look all over the world, the people who are doing it, they are men. It is not to discriminate the ladies. You will find that God may give somebody a special gift, but it also goes with a lot of gifting and passion that men has. It desires a lot of concentration. His sharing was very good. A lot of concentration. But if you want to do marketing, you want people who are trustworthy with finances. The ladies beat us a lot. So I think that's why you see a lot of men who are in this field, especially coding, and keeping there for a long time. It will be the men. I don't know why. Maybe the ladies can also answer for themselves. But
so since we have talked about collaboration, at least let us also have men on our teams. You never know, they can be inspired. So let her be there, and her role is to see what you're doing. You never know. So let us have concluding remarks from all of us, starting with Father. You can go on and give your concluding remarks. Jonah, just like that, we finish.
Thank you very much. I am providentially privileged to be here today. I wanted to listen to the developers who are doing a lot of code, but let the developers know that I am behind them and I support you. It is hard work. It has a lot of complexes, but know that there is somebody outside there who is supporting the work you are doing, because you need the support, especially those who do it every day. Secondly, know that this is very important. I would love that we have a serious follow-up on this, especially in line for collaboration. Of course, I know even in other developed, in this field where people have developed for years, especially the regulators, they want to have competitors. They don't want to see us as people who are monopolists in the field. They will force us to have competitors so that you can be able to do better and offer a better service for the end users. So we must know that we have not discussed the regulation, but we must know that regulation will encourage 20 developers who are doing a school platform or school system. And even if we don't want it, but when they find us collaborating with ourselves, they will not get scared. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity, but the future belongs to you. Keep courage.
The future belongs to us. Jonah, your concluding remarks. Summarize.
Okay, it's always a pleasure and a privilege being here and being able to meet fellow developers and sharing our experiences. I must say I've also learned, you cannot experience what he has experienced. You can only experience what you've experienced. So this was a really good platform, and to everyone out there maybe aspiring to join the field of developing, I must say it is an interesting field. What we picked out as maybe our bad experiences, maybe you might not experience it. Yeah, maybe times have changed and for you may have an easier route maybe. The market is still wide out there and it's virgin. You can imagine all through the years, we still have several solutions we are still building, and we can all build these solutions and everyone will still survive. So there's still hope out there. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks my colleagues. What I can say is it's always good and promising when people doing related work come together and they can come on a conclusion that some things are right and some things need to be improved, because all that comes as a form of making what you are doing better, and it's always what we should strive on, and our goal should be to make the industry more appetizing for people to join and making it more professional for people to refer to us both here nationally and internationally. So for the young developers, I just welcome you on that just concentrate and have a goal of what you are trying to do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my final remarks will be about the mental health as developers. It's a very crucial part for us as developers. We go through a lot of so many things, anxiety, stress, but I would like to encourage you guys to focus more on your health. We can disagree about some things. I don't encourage you guys to not to sleep. Please have enough time to sleep. Yeah, and it's always better to plan because the day you will nurse a series of burnouts, you realize that you can't do anything. So as we do the development, as whatever we do, we should put our health first. Yeah, thank you.
That's a very big issue. I don't think many Muslims. Sleeping is a problem. We will come for tips.
Thank you. I think my conclusive remarks is I normally feel challenged when I see the most juicy projects around us going to software companies that are coming from outside. And some of the reasons is because of the shortcuts we cut as local developers. We don't want to put in the time, we don't want to put in the work, we don't want to lift each other up, okay? You don't want to know that, okay, Jonah does a better work than me, let me share the opportunity with Jonah, you keep quiet over it. The other thing is, if you're developing, I always have one principle, develop with 1 billion people in mind. Because if I'm developing for 1 billion people, my design, my thinking, my considerations will be different. But if I'm developing for just one client or 3 people, then I'll cut more compromises. But if I'm developing for 1 billion people, I will not cut compromises because I know that I'll be criticized by 1 billion people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tim. What a good way to end it. So from the discussion, at least we have all agreed we need to be clear when it comes to pricing. And the team advised us, who advised us on minding about cost of production, because the cost of production will guide you on pricing. And we all agreed we need to specialize at times. It is very, very important, as well as building collaboration amongst ourselves. Maybe it can help us on so many things. And then solving a problem, and a right problem at that, will help us tap into someone who has our money out there, just like what our colleague said. Someone has our money, and if we are to give that money, we must solve his or her problem. Then we all recognize the need to formalize our business, what we tap into resources which are out there. If there are resources and your business is not formalized, maybe the resources will not come to you. And then our team has ended up with the word of lifting each other. Where there is a need, please let's lift each other and create products for impact. If someone is lacking this and you can provide, please do so, because we all must succeed. Once again, I need to recognize our partners. Leader Uganda Limited, thank you so much for pushing this. Mavtech Technologies, thank you so much. All these are software companies. DigB Technologies, thank you so much. We are doing this because of these companies, as well as Iraka TV and Iraka Radio. Thank you so much for giving us a platform to tell the world out there about what happens in the software development world. There are few people out there, but we have 1 million people out there watching us live. Thank you so much, Iraka TV. And people who are following us right now, just a few minutes I want to mention, Mr. Zabi Wycliffe, thank you so much for following the discussion. Pastor Ketty, Pastor Cyrus, Kundane Sam, Joseph, Otunga Christopher, to Nicholas, quite a number of people. I might not read all the names, but thank you so much, Valeria Bennett, Nyakato Junior, thank you so much, Aaron Ataho, thank you so much, Kapur Emmanuel, Yusuka Daniel. All these people are following us live at Heavy Upgrade. Ayasiga Ambrose, thank you so much for following us. And also want to recognize first the software companies in Imbarara, the iStreams, Codenext Computers, the Famitech, Digital Minds, all these are software companies. Maybe it's because of those companies we're having this discussion. And the Auto Global Systems, I come to go minus, of course, organizing them. And our team at Empower Youth in Technology, so thank you so much, Sankara, for doing all this and make sure we are live. I remember Sharona, thank you so much for coming. See you next time.
Brings liberation.
Yes, yes, yes. That is our first song called Baki Simba. Thank you for everyone who has just joined in. And if you have just joined in, tell a friend that the Ganda boys are live. This is the first time in history. Thank you to Uganda. You are watching. America, England, where we are, anywhere, Qatar, everybody. Thank you. The next song is going to be called Chiganda. We named it Chiganda. It's just a new album, so... Tweyanze? Okay, Chiganda, Tweyanze.
Yeah, one of those.
You elaborate on that then.
Tweyanze is another way of saying thank you, and we're thankful, and we are ready to go into the next song, and we hope you'll have a good time listening to it.